Hey y'all, I'm Senator Holly Thompson Rehder from Southeast Missouri. Our Senate this year has started out, unfortunately, like it has been in the past couple of years. And that's just a lot of trying to circumvent the actual process, the processes that have been in place for many, many years, for decades, and that has worked. And what we have is we have a few in the Republican caucus, 5 to 6 people in the Republican caucus that are constantly wanting to disrupt. And they do that by giving you about 10% of the truth out of a whole issue.
Last week, we heard about 48-hour rule. We need 48 hours to read a bill when the omnibus bills come in. When an omnibus bill is made, it is made up of bills that we have been working on for months. I'm dyslexic, and I don't need more than the time that we are allowed now to read the bills because I have already been studying them. I have already been reading them, and I can read that bill when it gets put on my desk. And if I can't, I am a senator, and I can hold this floor up as long as I need to and go through every line that I need to go through. But when we took that vote, because those of us who didn't feel that we need to now change the process that does actually work, then you have the charlatans put on Facebook, well, Republicans have voted, the rhinos have voted with the Democrats again and voted us down. No, sir. 15 Republicans voted against 5 who want to have their name in the paper 12 times a day.
Had we have had that rule in place when we passed SAPA or when we passed the Heartbeat Bill, and SAPA is the Second Amendment Preservation Act, those bills wouldn't have passed. So this is all just kind of that behind the curtain type thing that you see in Wizard of Oz where they're trying to make some big smoke screen when there's really nothing there. But that's the way they do it to get social media hits. And it's unfortunate that I'm going to have to take to camera to really start giving some behind the scenes information on these things, but I honestly cannot sit by any longer and allow members of the Senate, who should be honored to be able to do such an important job that really affects people's lives. I just can't sit by any longer and allow them to continue to snow the voters.
We have heard up until this point, so 8 days or 9 days of session, we have heard almost every single day that the Republicans didn't pass the property tax cut. Well, I'm going to give you the rest of the story. Final day of session, I pulled a bill out of fiscal oversight. We added that tax cut on and some other things that were being required because everyone in this chamber knows, everyone in the chamber across the rotunda knows that it's a tug of war between the House and the Senate. In that process, we had the Speaker of the House who wanted sports betting. Many of the rest of us want sports betting too. Sports betting is not my wheelhouse. I've never placed a bet on sports. But I can tell you that's what I hear the most about down in Southeast Missouri from my constituents because we are surrounded by states that allow sports betting. So guess what else was in this bill I pulled out of fiscal oversight? Sports betting. I included it because the Speaker wasn't going to pass our property tax cut until we sent him sports betting. Well, we had members in this chamber who didn't trust the Speaker to pass. If we passed sports betting, they didn't trust him to pass that. So then it became a timing thing. Well, who's supposed to pass first thing? Who's going to trust the other one? Pass first thing. Fine. That's what politics is about. So we put it all on this bill. We met in the Pro Tem's office. And I said, here's the bill. It's got sports betting on it. It's got the property tax on it. It's got some of the other things that others were filibustering about on it. Let's pass it. I've talked to the speaker. Speaker's agreed to pass it. Let's send it to him. He's going to pass it. We're going to have all the things that everybody's been crying about, but nobody's been actually working and doing the work to actually get it passed, because they'd rather come out here and make speeches that they can then put on social media and start saying, oh, I tried this, I tried that, and everybody else shut me down. Well, you know what? I got almost every piece of legislation I was working on that I had filed done last year, because I work my bills. I don't just come out here and talk about them. Blame everybody else for my inadequacies. So, y'all can guess what happened in the Pro Tem's office. The people who are now up on this floor complaining about us not getting property tax cut done last year said, no, we're not passing a bill with sports betting in it. So they gave up everybody's property tax cut because they didn't want sports betting. That was last year's rest of the story.
But what I plan to do is to just start trying my best to give you the behind the scenes look, and to actually, you're gonna get tired of hearing from me, and you may click to see the next reel really fast, but it's really important to me that I'm at least trying to give you the true factual information that's going on, not just take 10% of an issue, post it on Facebook with a very misleading information. That is no better than what we're getting from the media today. We don't need that coming from our own people. We need to all work together and to get these great things to the governor's desk as quickly as possible. And when it comes to IP reform, we had that bill back from the House and ready to be voted on. But because of the last few days, filibuster from these same senators again that are continuing to put out inaccurate information, because they held it up, is why we are in the position that we're in today. So please stay tuned, and I'll be sure to bring you the rest of the story.